Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's Friday, and it's time for This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob Zadora. How are you, sir?
I'm great, you.
It's a Friday.
It is Friday. It could be another wet Friday.
Unfortunately, it's going to be another wet Friday.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It was kind of humid yesterday. It was kind of like give you that summer vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't helping things dry out, but we get a little breeze comes through there. It'll help a little bit.
Comes in. It happens. Living up on the top of the ridge where you live, how does the humidity happen? Do you get much off the river?
No, not really much off the river. Well, like we saw, that was a great shot with the way the
Yeah.
fog was over the Cotter and over the park and stuff. You get some from, some comes up, but
Not
it's
bad.
It's
No. And that breeze that comes off that water is always nice and cool.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, when the breeze is right and it's coming up, you do get a nice breeze up there.
All this rain we've had, has that dampened the showings any?
Not really. People that were planning on coming still came. It's kind of hard to show the place off
Right.
when everything is wet and stuff. But everything's really green, as you know, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It shows. It helps show that part a little bit better.
Yeah. But it's, if they have plans to be here, they're not going to change plans just
No.
because of a little bit of weather.
No, because it rains where they're at too.
Yeah.
Wherever they're coming from, it's not like it's a unique situation. Oh, look at that! It rains in Arkansas. It's pretty much a worldwide event.
Yeah, right.
So it's been a busy week. We put two houses. We closed out two houses. We put two other houses under contract. Going out. We've got the listing. We got to get the paperwork done on a house. We'll probably get that done this afternoon. But it hasn't been bad for us. I mean, it comes and goes.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk to people, or when you look at the numbers as far as where we are year to date over year to date, and it slowed down a little bit. The economy's slowed down some. There's a certain. I'm sure you run into it.
Right.
You're dealing with disposable income, so it's even more difficult, for you to get people to commit to a long-term, multi-$1,000 deal. And people are just a little nervous, and the interest rates aren't helping.
Mm-hmm.
The fiasco yesterday with he's a bum, no, he's a bum, that doesn't help the economy or our presence on the national stage at all, and people get a little nervous when that happens because the markets move so much.
Mm-hmm.
The markets, somebody sneezes and the market will jump 100 points. That's partly what's still holding the interest rates up and not helping them to get settled down. Get out of the sevens, let's get down into the sixes and work our way down a little bit more. People will be much happier than they are right now. You get a 7, you're doubled what you were paying 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's also stopping people from selling. It's harder to go and buy something else when you look at what your payment's going to be and what you're going to get for that same amount of money you're paying now. It's a hard thing to do. So they're saying, "Oh, we'll just stay here." And some of that,
We'll ride it out.
we'll ride it out.
We'll see what happens.
It'll get better,
Yeah.
and it will get better. But
But
in the
who
meantime,
knows when?
you're missing the part of your life that you're trying to be living right now.
Mhm.
That's really the bigger part of it. You can make more money. You can't make more time. You can change your lifestyle, and you can compensate for the financial things, but you can't make that time back if you want to be being with your grandkids for t-ball. Your grandson out playing ball out there, having that time to do that. And if you were living there, your plan was to move there, wherever there may be.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the deal. The way you got to look at it is, what are we missing in our life that we're because of this? And same thing with seeing these new families. My church is 8:30. There's got to be, I bet there's 45, 50 babies, under 2 in
Yeah.
there. I mean, they're everywhere. So they're not all just COVID kids. They're And so these young families are starting to step up, so they need an extra bedroom. They need a little bigger yard to play in. They want, they're looking for this, they want to be a little closer to school or whatever it is they're thinking of their plan going forward. Life happens. Life still happens every day. We watch some of the insanity in other places, but what all of us, I think, are concerned about is what's my life? What is affecting my life? I can worry about my neighbor, but what's affecting me and Linda and the boys?
Yeah.
And what are we going to do about it?
Yeah. What's in control of my quality of life?
Exactly. What can I control? Because if you watch the news, you can't control any of that. None of it. You can control what you do, what your family does, what your church does, what your place of employment. There's things that you can do there that you can that affect your life that you can change. That's the deal. You want to be able to live here. Don't be living and don't be living too much up here either. Don't live in Washington. Don't live in Kyiv or Moscow or whatever.
Yeah. In
live
your
here.
living room,
What-
don't be living there.
Exactly.
Right.
What are you going to do for dinner? The biggest decision of the day is where we're going to go for dinner. And that's something that's local. That's the way you got to look at things. That's what directly affects your life. The other stuff, I can't do nothing about Donald and Elon. They make the headlines and everything else, but I know there's nothing I can do about them. So I have a tendency to go more for music on the radio instead of some of the talk stations, just because it's just frustrating. And
Yeah, because they're gonna do
because
what
they're
they're
cutting
gonna
into
do.
my quality of life,
Right.
and there's for something that I can't control.
And they're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
It's the D&E show this week, and
Yeah.
next week it'll be something
It'll be
different.
something else. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm the chairman of the Republican Party in Marion County, and we had a meeting last night. We're getting together for our dinner, our yearly dinner, the fundraiser, and that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to what is in Marion County that we can change and have an effect on. That's what we want to do, and because that's something that we can control. We can control that and have a result, and then be able to look back and say, "Hey, good job, thanks a lot." That's the deal. So I'll get off the soapbox. I'm here to sell real estate, but it's all part of it. And,
It is.
People, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that quality of life, and they come here for that quality of life. They come in here to Three Rivers and Two Lakes, to be able to go on that river and take a boat ride, go for a picnic. The lakes are like really high, so you got to pay attention if you're on the lakes. But it's such a beautiful place, and the market's still moving. It's slowed down a little bit in some parts. It just kind of just happens. But like I say, we did a couple closings. And I think there's another one next week, and everybody's participating. It's a whole team. I mean, Sam had a guy, and he's couldn't get to him to show him the house, and Linda stepped up, took the guy out. Him and his wife loved the house, and had they not been able to deal with the team and deal with us, Linda being able to take them out and show them the house, they may very well have missed it. It hadn't been on the market very long. It was a nice house, ready to go. Like I said, things that are priced right and ready to go. And they may not have been able to buy that house without the team being able to help them. So that makes a big difference, And this is all we do. We do real estate. Linda and I do real estate all day, every day.
It's not a side hustle.
It's not a side hustle. We don't work at Walmart. We're not trying to find something else to do to make sure that the bills are paid. We can pay the bills because we're actually, turns out we're pretty good at what we do.
Being involved in like the Republican committee over in Marion County and doing things like, I need to go ahead and throw this out there, Gasville in the Park is this
Yes.
weekend. It's
Yes.
tomorrow. Y'all will be there, I'm sure.
I'll be there. I don't have a booth set up or anything because
No,
that's
but
Gasville.
you'll be
Gasville's
there.
at Baxter.
Right, but you'll be there.
Oh yeah.
And being involved in community events across Baxter and Marion County, that's a big part of what you do and how
Sure.
y'all keep your name and keep your label, keep your brand alive. How important is that as being on your side of it, looking across? Y'all do it all the time, so it must be very important to you.
Oh, it is. I mean, the area, where I live, the county that I physically live in doesn't really affect our business at all. We try and have, done with anybody, you're within the sound of our voice, so you can see me, unless you're like on the internet on a ship someplace, but, we can help service you. Linda and Darlene are both licensed in Missouri. Darlene's lived here all her life. Reese has lived here all his life. His father was a realtor, so he grew up in a business. He used to play under Dad's desk, those type of things. And so, they're obviously what we didn't know, we acquired. When you don't need to know everything, you need to know where to go to get it. And that's really what we did in building the team, was finding people that were from here that knew the area. The guy who, I lived down the road from the old Smith farm. I said, dude, I don't know where the new Smith farm is, let alone with you. But Reese, call this guy.
Right.
And Reese would be able to call him up. Reese would call me back 15 minutes later.
That's my second
his
cousin on
and my
Mabel's
brother-
side.
Exactly. And that's really what that's so important to have
Right.
that in touch with the community. And we've got a lot of time in grade doing this. We've been through bad times. We've been through great times. And it's, but people, they have a tendency to come in on the great and forget about the bad.
Yeah.
Or how to deal with clients, how to deal with the guy who says, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pay for that. I'm not going to, and to reel them back in a little bit and say, okay, look, this is going to be okay. We'll get it done. A lot of hand holding.
It's a changing world every day. Let's
Yes.
look
Oh,
at your
yes,
numbers.
it is. It is a changing world every day. This week in real estate, there were 68 new listings came on the market, 8 commercial properties, 18 parcels of land, 42 homes came on the market. They range in price from $100,000 to $675,000. 5 of them are taken backups. 35 properties sold, 2 commercial properties, 11 parcels of land, 22 homes sold. They range in price from $620,000 to $60,000. The average sale price this week was $257,000 with 86 days on market. $5.6 million in residential real estate closed this week. 9 properties expired. There were 36 residential price changes, and they were all price reductions. Currently, there's 459 homes listed on the MLS. It's ticking up. Year to date, for 2025, there's been 427 homes have sold. The average sale price has been $249,000 with 94 days on market. Last year, there had been 471 homes that sold. Average sale price was $245 with 94 days on market. In 2023, there had been 418 homes sold with an average sale price of $217. In 2022, 512 homes had sold. Average sale price was $220. In 2021, 510 homes had sold with an average sale price of $190. And in 2020, 430 homes had sold with an average sale price of $156. So you can see how the market has changed, how it's a different animal now than it was then. COVID made a huge difference in people finding us here, realizing that they could work from home here. ASA putting the wireless, getting the internet infrastructure up here for the schools, and then it being bursting out, to the neighborhoods and things. The job that Next did with the internet, it just made a tremendous difference on our area here. So.
Makes a big difference when you can work from home, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, it does. To have a guy stand on the porch of a house and take his phone out and, oh yeah, I can work here. He's got the speed meter on there. And oh yeah, I can work here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what the house looks like.
Check out the house. How do they get you?
Call my honey. She's 870-405-0793. You contact us on the web. Obviously, you see us every morning there at the retiredtoarkansas.net. But best thing to do is give her a call. She keeps track of all the places that we got to be and things to do, people to see. 870-405-0793.
Thank you, sir. It's been This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zadora, Century 21 Lemac Realty, the Z Team, 870-405-0793. We'll be back with some Friday sports in just a moment.